Hi, I'm Trevor Tierney, Integrated Success Coach here at UK, and today I'm going to talk to you about spaced repetition theory and how you can use it to study more efficiently and effectively. Spaced repetition is a learning technique that involves reviewing information at increasing intervals over time. To understand how to utilize spaced repetition, we must first understand something called the forgetting curve. So this is a graph that represents how much information you remember over time if you do nothing to study or review that material. So as you can see, as time goes on, we tend to forget more and more of what we've learned. So what does this tell us about studying? Well, without understanding the forgetting curve or spaced repetition, many students will learn something new, wait to review it until a few days before the exam, then try to study hard within those few days to remember the material again. This means that we're essentially learning, forgetting, and then relearning that information over time. So let's look at a different way of doing things, spaced repetition. On the dotted line here, we can see the original forgetting curve we just looked at. The bold line, however, shows us what our studying could look like if we followed spaced repetition theory. As you can see, we learn something new, but as soon as we start to forget the significant amount of that information, we engage in a short review session to cover the material again and get our retention back up to 100%. As time goes on, we'll again start to forget, so once we reach that point of 50% retention, we again need to engage in another short review session. As the information becomes more familiar and we understand it more deeply, we can actually increase the amount of time between each review session. Let's say this green line on the far right is about 3 days out from a test. The person who followed spaced repetition theory only needs to do another small review session to remember the material again fully. The person who waited until 3 days out to start studying now has to work very hard and spend much more time to attain that same level of retention. Thanks, and happy studying.